This is Chris Baker, and you're watching a podcast called Tell Me Your Story. Watching or listening, I should say. And today's guest to tell his story is Denny Wareh. We're just going to do like how we always do. We're just going to jump into it and talk about early childhood. Where'd you grow up at?
Actually, that's probably where I want to, like, that's the biggest topic I want to talk about is my childhood, really. Um, um, well, I moved around a lot. I think I went to like 10 or 11 schools before I graduated high school. Um, I like I lived in California in a small town, and then I lived in Ohio, Ashtabula in a small town, and then I lived in Vegas for a little while. I lived in PA for a little bit. Um, we bounced around a lot. I was born in California in Mission Viejo. I don't know, man. My childhood's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, just thinking about it, like,
It's
just from what you told
yeah,
me just there,
it's
man, it's just like you were traveling all over the place.
yeah, and like the big reason is my dad was constantly like, I mean, my mom and dad were breaking up and getting back together like all the time. Uh, and my dad was just kind of uh he just couldn't, I don't know, man. He was just constantly jumping jobs and careers. I think uh he just couldn't find happiness, I guess. But like most of my childhood was like with my mom and dad up until probably um until I was in like high school is when they split. But they were just it's weird because like I love every uh I love every bit of it now. And I'm super grateful for all of it. But it was rough. It was just you know, they they were both two awesome people, really, but they were like they were robbed of their childhood in ways that children shouldn't be robbed. And you know, they did the best they could in totality, really. You know what I mean? Um, but they fought a lot, dude. And um, I heard, I heard my mom and dad say stuff to each other that I've never even heard like bad guys say to the hero in a movie. Like this stuff was dirty. Um, you know, like I said, it's a lot to unpack. I don't even know where I'm trying to figure out where to start, but like,
I just want to tell you right now that I dealt with the same thing. I kind of
yeah,
know what you're dealing with, and we know how it is. I don't want to put my folks out on blast, but
no,
that's kind of how I know. I know exactly what you're saying, and the stuff you hear as a kid from your parents, it's definitely something that you don't want to, you don't ever expect to hear. But when you hear it coming from your dad or you hear it from your mom saying something, and it's just kind of like, wow, why are you saying that? This is supposed to be somebody
yeah,
you love. You're not supposed to act like that or treat her like that or treat him like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I totally get
100%.
where you're at, man.
I mean, like, I don't want to put the like things that should not happen to children happen to both of them, and I think there's beauty in that because they found each other and we came out of it. But like, when you rupture a child's soul like that, you're basically are, it's like that person spends the rest of their life trying to hold them. It's like a ripped up piece of paper trying to hold itself together with like scotch tape. It's fragile, and in like totality as a whole, it never repeated. Like it stopped with them. So that's a win in my book, regardless of everything else that happened, because the object of parenting is to, when you have the, I mean, the one object is to try to give them a better life than what you had, and I'd say that's, I had it rough, but I didn't have it that rough, so I'm thankful for that. Um, you sit and listen to people say these very hurtful things to each other, and at first glance you look at it like it's evil, but you know, now looking back at it, especially just because I operate way differently, they were just really hurt, and they weren't smart enough to articulate like the idea, like, like, be like, dude, that hurt. This is how that hurt. Let's not do that again. They weren't educated enough. So it would be like one would throw a blow and then the other one would throw another one, but not to really hurt them, but to explain to them, like, dude, that hurt. And this is how much. But because it's not communicated properly, it just became a bunch of, it just becomes a fight of low blows, and it becomes a competition on how much lower can you really go. You know what I mean? And I mean, because they're good people. They just, I mean, how much can you really ask out of some damaged people like that? Um, but something led them to find each other and you know, make the three of us, at least with my dad and my mom. My dad had a little girl before he had us, but it's not. I don't know. Uh, there's so much ugliness that was really awesome in a way, because I'm not anything close to that, and I don't operate around people. I just don't. My family's not like that anymore. You know what I mean? It was, I got boxed hardcore until I was like probably 15 or 16, like, and I was only like 4'11", 100 pounds soaking wet, probably. But it gave me thick skin in a way. You know, there's definitely situations that, like, had I not probably got rocked so much when I was younger, I would have not been able to survive certain things that I went through. You know, um, I feel like I'm all over the place, really.
No, you're just speaking it out, man. You're telling, what's on your heart and getting it out there, and that's
Yeah,
cool. Just keep doing it, man.
it's just,
I know it's tough, but it's gonna feel
yeah,
better just to get it off your chest.
yeah. I'm at a point right now where I'm like, I'm so grateful for everything all the time, and I keep finding reasons to be grateful that, like, it's like I understand, like, my path is my path, and like, I'm just becoming more, the more I'm becoming more grateful for it, where I'm at right now on it, and like what could come in the future. Like, every day I just become way more grateful for everything I passed up to, like, no matter how ugly or pretty it was. And like, I don't know, like, I couldn't have been handed the hand I was dealt if I wasn't strong enough to play it. You know, like, maybe there was a lot of things I learned growing up the way I did. I mean, did a lot of rebuilding, and I'm probably still doing it. But
You know what? I'll tell you what. I can tell you sitting here, kind of just meeting you for the first time. I got this real strong vibe coming off you that you're gonna be a motivational speaker. That
I
everything that
hope
you've
so.
gone, that everything that you've been through, that you dealt with, you're saying to yourself right now, I don't want anybody to ever deal with that, or feel like that, or be in that
Yeah,
position. And that
yeah,
you had this inside you that you wanna give to other people and build them up. Because you had that spirit of gratitude inside you where you appreciate everything that's around you. And
yeah,
now everybody
yeah,
everybody that comes into your life that plays a part in your journey, you want to make it possible for them to feel great, to feel greater than they
Yes.
are. You want to build that
Yeah.
person up and make them, you know what I'm saying? You feel that. Now speak it.
Mhm.
Bring it out, man.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to
Yeah.
let that out.
Yeah. I just like sometimes my thoughts are like lightning bolts, man. So it's just trying to. I do though, like even like when it comes to like I sell cars, but I don't get high off the commission or anything. It's like I get to meet somebody that's either older or younger. I get to learn something. I get to motivate them. I get to be motivated. I get to maybe teach something. You know, that's probably where I become grateful for being an older brother and now a dad because like growing up, I had to like I went through a lot of stuff and hit a lot of walls, but it made me an example for my brother and sisters so I could be like, dude, did you just see what I went through? Don't do that. You know what I mean? And I went through a lot and it's a lot of relatable stuff with people. Um, that's what I get high off of is solving the problem
Because it feels
and
good.
having a connection like that. Yeah, like I don't need to get paid to like I don't need to get paid that bad. Like what how am I gonna say this? Like I don't need to get paid that bad if it's gonna make me lie to somebody or screw them over in any way. I don't. I'll find that money that I need somewhere else in another way. I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like there's a bad stigma with salesmen. Like a lot of people I talk to that I've never been in it are they're like, I could never sell because I could never talk somebody into yada yada yada. Like that's not it's problem solving. Like I don't because I technically I'm a salesman, but I consider myself like a solution expert. If you're coming in to get a car, the potential problem is you need a vehicle. I have the solutions I have. It's my job to ask the right questions so I can recommend the perfect solution. After that, it's up to the banks and everything to work everything else out. But like I like helping people get what they want for the first time or helping them get established. I love when I meet like young 20-year-old 20 in their like people in their 20s because
Up and coming.
like like late I learned late in my 20s and in my early 30s that if I would have just hustled and used all of the stamina and energy I had from the minute I turned 20 until at least like and gave myself a timeline until I was 30 and I just worked and hustled, like the 30s would be the best decade of my life because I'd be able to own my house, I'd own my cars, I'd be able to vacation with the family. Like the only thing you really miss in your 20s if you're not work like if you're working all the time is random hookups and parties. There's not much else, besides a vacay here and there. But like I was, you gotta if you treat it like there's of course you'll accomplish things in your 20s and you want to celebrate it, but it's like you treat it like a football season and like hitting 30 or getting where you want to be before 30 would be the Super Bowl. If the goal is to get to the Super Bowl, you don't celebrate week 8 like you won the Super Bowl. So it's like, but at the same time, you do acknowledge the win. So it's like, yeah, let's celebrate for a minute. We did good. This was a good comeback. Blah 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 blah. You get back to it. You're practicing the rest of the week. You know what I mean? You kind of, if where you want to be, you can be at 30 if you just grind your 20s and use everything that you were, you know. And I learned that like late in my 20s, and I'm still grinding, but my 30s have been the best decade of my life for sure. And they keep getting better,
And
which is
how are
cool.
you feeling at this moment in your life?
Like I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for everything. It's weird because I never like 3 or 4 years ago, I was like super depressed. Me and my kid's mom broke up, and I was just like spiraling. I didn't really actually pay attention, but I have been drinking every single day for at least 2 tall boys a day for 6, 7 years. And uh, I I just it wasn't even so much losing her. It was just like knowing that I walked away from a situation that I really didn't try my best, because I can look back at a lot of tests I got throughout it and I failed miserably every time. And I just wanted another shot at being the best version of myself. And by the time I had grown up and realized that, it was way too late. So, um, I was in a low place for a long time. I was doing drugs. Uh, and I was the closest to suicide probably I ever will ever be again, for real. Like, it was the most reality of a thought at one point. And I went to counsel. Like, I signed up for counseling because I figured, like, I know what that'll do, so why not try? And the crazy thing is like, I'm backtracking, but like back when I was like 19, me and my mom used to fight like Eminem and his mom did. Like, at least it's what it sounded like in the music, for real. It was, it sucked. And one time I got so sick of fighting and running from the cops for literally just saying like, leave me alone. Really, sometimes uh I acted like I was just giving subliminal messages to my sister, like I was about to do something stupid, even though like I was way too scared to do anything like that. But like, I just figured if I could get them scared, then they'll stop being mad, and then I don't have to worry about fighting for the night. And it worked perfectly, but they came running in, and the cops still came. And I had to explain to them that I wasn't really going to do anything, but I still got took to the hospital. And I'm sitting in this room with cameras on me and stuff. And this girl in her young 20s comes in, and she's just like questioning me, like seeing where I'm at. And I told her, like, look, dude, I just need a nap. I can't. I'm so sick of fighting with my mom. I wasn't gonna do anything like that, but it was the only solution I could think of to stop fighting for the day, really. And we were just like laughing and joking. By the time it was over, I got to leave later that night. Everything was cool. But like, now we fast forward back to where I'm at, and I signed up for counseling. I'm doing assessments with like different people, and then off comes the elevator is the same chick that was in the hospital like that many years later. And she sees a lot of people, but I remembered her. And I was like, you don't remember me, but I definitely remember you. Like, I know I'm supposed to be here. And I really wanted to be fixed because I was tired of like hurting. So I would like, in order to be really fixed, I had to be 100% honest, even about stuff that I didn't want nobody to know about. But I figured, if she's got all these degrees on the wall, let's see how. And we had to vibe well, of course, but that was like, that started me on a better path for sure. That was the best. I think happy people should go to counseling. There's nothing wrong with an unbiased, educated soundboard to just throw up whatever you're thinking. And like, it's easier to trust when you know it's unbiased, like, because your family could be saying the same thing to you, which is a fact. And
You're okay.
uh, and like, they could be saying the same thing to you, but you disregard it uh, because they love you and they're supposed to say that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I loved it. Like, I spent a lot of time doing my own counseling. It felt like it was nice to have somebody that I was like, I'm not crazy, right? because I think blah 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 blah, you know. And if I was wrong, she'd tell me where I was wrong at. But if I was right, she'd be like, no, no, that makes sense. And I'd be like, oh, because how come I'm the only one that sees it? You know what I mean? Or it was and I don't. Okay, so like in the middle of depression and all that, like I learned that like it's like hell. It's I mean, fire couldn't make it any worse, to be honest. But and you're dwelling on like insecurities and regrets and like because you're dwelling on it, and it like it was almost like like it had control over the way I was thinking, and it was like I couldn't catch a break because like I got all this big pile of this giant list of just reasons, you know, to hate myself or whatever. And I just kept adding to it every day. And a lot of it was because I was drinking too, because it didn't help, like made it way easier to do that. Um like the act was dwelling on that stuff. And it was like it just brought just more reasons all the time. Like, and I definitely was doing it, but it just felt like I couldn't catch a break. Like I felt like I was getting hit everywhere I turned. And
But hold on. But really, what it was that you were dealing with in that time and what you were trying to do is what a lot of people do is they have this hole in their heart because of what's going on, what's taking place in their life, and you're trying to fill it. You're trying to fill it with all these different things. You're trying to fill it
yeah,
with drinking. You're trying to fill it with drugs. But it's that temporary thing that satisfies you for that little bit. And then
yeah,
you find yourself, once you come back to reality, things are just worse. And it's kind of back the same, but worse.
yeah. For me, getting like hammered and stuff, uh, I was just kind of like, man, every day I was looking at that pile. Like, I got to clean this up. But geez, it's so huge. And like getting drunk was a way to be like, I'll just deal with it tomorrow. But somehow another scoop would be added to it. So it just got bigger.
That
And, you know,
temporary relief.
yeah. And, you know, and then like obviously, like I'm hungover, so I'm waking up already groggy. I'm
Yeah.
not even giving my best effort for the day. I really don't care. But I didn't realize. Here's the thing: I didn't realize I was drinking like that. Like I didn't. I saw alcoholics, extreme alcoholics, and so like I would compare myself to that. Like, oh, yeah, so I'm not like that. Like, but I was habitually buying tall boys without even realizing sometimes. And a couple years ago on Memorial Day, I got a DUI, and thank God I got pulled over. I had a big bubble in my tire. I was swerving. It was so bad, and like the fact that I was leaving at the time I was leaving to go see my girlfriend, uh, is probably what saved my life because I got pulled over. Because had I stayed longer, I definitely would have. I can only imagine what would happen, but uh, it took a long time to go to court because of COVID and everything, and then I had to do 10 days in jail, and it was still quarantine, so I'm locked in this box for 23 hours a day, which I get claustrophobia already. But and I couldn't figure out why like my body was hurting and I couldn't sleep, and I needed a cold rag on my forehead to sleep. And like, oh man, I thought about bouncing my head off of the toilet inside there every day, all day. It was like, and I'm talking to the nurse really just to get an excuse to get out for a second because like I just can't take it. And I'm telling her like everything that's going on with me, and she's like, "Are you sure you're not withdrawing from alcohol?" I'm like, "No, I don't drink like that." But like, can you do something? And all I got was some books, and had to go right back. But like that went on for like the first 3 4 days, and then my thoughts are what made me want to get hammered because I don't want to think anymore. but I can't do that. So that's all I can do. I was sitting in this box, and I don't know. It was, man, it was cool because I was forced to face all of it. It sucked, and I definitely suffered, but it was like I finally just turned around and faced a lot, so much stuff I was running from, and
You finally couldn't run from your demons. You had to face them.
yeah, it sucked because yeah, exactly. And I thought about it, and like I was like, oh my god, I really do drink like that. Like it's been like 10 years now, and and then I look back at everything I've been through and realized it was somehow alcohol related. And I don't know, something in me, I just kind of like decided like I'm just gonna, you know what, I'm not saying I'm not gonna do it forever anymore, or like I'm not gonna do it anymore, but like I just today I don't feel like it, and hopefully tomorrow I'll wake up the same way. And uh, like my life just got instantly better,
Oh yeah.
like so fast that it felt like a cheat code because I don't know what happened. I can't tell you, like I can only those are the things I kind of remember experiencing, but I don't know what I don't know what happened because like it almost feels like a cheat code at this point. It has this whole year that I haven't drank because I don't want to. And like, just because it doesn't work for me doesn't work for anybody. Doesn't mean it doesn't work for anybody else because everybody's different. But I don't know. It's like toxic. It's like a toxic family member to me. Like I appreciate your existence, kind of, depending on how we look at it. Like we had some good memories, maybe, but I don't hate you. I just don't. I just don't associate with you at all. Like, and you could be at the same place I'm at, and it's okay. You could even be around people that I love. I'm not going to judge them for hanging out with you. You can even sit at my table. I'm still going to be the same. I'm not inviting you in, you know? And, um, I don't know. Maybe I can't tell you why. I just have no urge to do it anymore. It's probably a compilation of everything, especially with my life getting a lot better. I know, like, after a few months, when I stopped, I didn't want to stop living just because I stopped drinking. So I would like slowly do things that I used to do when I was drinking
Distract your mind.
to try to get used to it. And I wanted like so I quit like my first sober day technically from alcohol was February 28th. But I would say I didn't get out until like March 9th or something like that. And I feel like that following weekend is when I really quit because that was the first time I had the opportunity and I didn't. And then I didn't really have an urge like that anymore. But um I like what I so March, somewhere, the beginning of March is when I stopped. And then like I had this plan to propose to my fiance, and like that meant I had to sing to her because that was what I pictured every time I thought about it. But and I like to do karaoke, but I was hammered all the time. So if I'm gonna sing, I have to be able to prove to myself that I can sing without being buzzed. So my
Yeah.
buddy was DJing one night, and I showed up. It was really probably my first time at a bar. And she asked what I wanted to drink, and I was just like, "I'll take a Coke." And she was like, "And?" I'm like, Nothing else, just a Coke. It's cool." And I didn't even have the urge to drink a beer then, man. But so I was proud of myself at that aspect, but like singing was the real test. And I'm okay. I'm karaoke decent, you know. But and I did, and I got compliments just like I used to. I just got the same type of reaction that I always get, really, you know what I mean? And it kind of was like, all right, I could do this for sure. And and I just like friends would have parties, whatever it was that I did when I was drinking. I was a gamer. I usually had my tall boys. I smoked my weed and had games until I was hammered, and I went to bed and woke up and did that every single day. And I was doing everything that I could possibly think of that would that I used to include alcohol in, because I can't not live. Otherwise, what's the point of quitting? You know, at least I don't know. But so
No,
and then
hold on, before we keep going on. I want to just kind of jump in here for a minute, and because I can relate to what you're saying. Once you finally gave up the habit, the addiction just of drinking, and you realized that you didn't need it, you realized like
yeah,
you felt a lot better. Your body started
hmm
telling you like, you don't need that, man. You started feeling
yeah,
more confident. You started making better decisions, and it started clicking more to you. And
yeah, yeah,
before you know it, once you started stepping away from that life, that choice that you were doing to fill that need,
yeah,
you just started realizing,
yeah,
because everything was clicking. But
yeah,
the hardest part though, for anybody that's watching right now that is currently in that situation, is you're gonna have to lose some people, man. I mean, it's tough,
hmm
but you're gonna have to let go of some of your friends to make that decision because some are not gonna want to do it as easy as you, and some are not gonna be as they're not gonna motivate you and be there to say, oh yeah, no, there's gonna be a lot of times they're gonna tell you, what you're better than us, and they're gonna have to respect your decision that you don't want to do it no more. And some of them people that you're just gonna have to hit the fork in the road and go a different way, a whole different way. And
yeah.
that's where you were at.
It's yeah, yeah. Thank God I had a great support system, because my best friends are amazing. My mom, she's she's just an absolute angel. I wish we've grown a lot both together, really. My fiance, she's definitely been a big reason why I'm a lot better person. Okay, so like, getting back to like depression and like dwelling, like there's a pattern of behavior there where, you know, it's like you dwell on this stuff that hurts you, and then it's like you manifest other things that are going to hurt in some shape or form. And that same pattern of behavior, I'm doing the same thing. The only thing is, like, instead of me dwelling on insecurities and regrets, I'm just dwelling on what I'm grateful for. And now it's the same thing. It's like I get bombarded with reasons to be grateful. Like I can't catch a break in a good way on finding reasons to be grateful every single day. And it's the same pattern of behavior, and it works the same exact way. It's weird, but it's not. It's just the lens. It's like
You see life
we focus
different.
more on the have-nots than the have.
And when you do it though, when you have the spirit of gratitude, just from the moment you wake up to the moment when you go to bed, your life changes. You see life itself differently, more beautiful than what it was before.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, this is a really beautiful system that we are connected to be honest. And the more I learn about it, I feel like the more beautiful the whole system as a whole gets. And to be able, like, to be alive and to be witnessing everything first person is such a gift. It just makes everything else trivial,
let-
really.
let's step into this for a moment. So the moment you wake up, man, it's just right then and there. That's where it begins. You wake up, you open your eyes, you get out of your nice comfy bed or couch wherever you're sleeping, and you just think right in that moment, thank you for my eyes. Thank you for my ears to be able to hear, my mouth to be able to speak, my tongue to be able to taste, my nose to be able to smell, the skin to be able to feel the air, even though it's cold out
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, right.
to have my arms moving, my legs working, to be able to interact with other human beings.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, dude.
that's only the start though, because when you really start
Yeah,
thinking about it, like the roof over your head that kept you warm at night, the bed that, like I said, the bed that you were sleeping in, the food that's in your cupboards, the car that you're currently driving right now, the roads that
yeah,
you're on, how easy it is to get from point A to point Z, the food.
yeah. The people who put up the lights on the roads,
Yes,
like nobody ever thinks about those guys, you
the
know.
lights,
But
man, the traffic lights that keep us, doing the right thing and not driving like maniacs,
mhm,
even though we still kind of do from time to time.
yeah, yeah, right.
And then you got the grocery stores. People forget how good we really have it because, like, when you really think back, like, at one time we actually had to hunt for our food. We had to go out and,
Yeah,
a lot of people would be so against it nowadays because of animal cruelty, but at one point we actually had to do that. We had to take out
yeah,
animals to feed our family.
yeah. And I mean, like, look, dude, everything is food. Everything is food. We become food for the ground and everything that grows around. Like, everything becomes food at some point. Like, I never really understood. Like, okay, like animal cruelty, maybe the way you're holding the animals and stuff like that and their conditions in which they're being raised, like I can understand needing to fix that. But I don't know. Some things are everything's grown to be something's food at some point,
Yeah,
you know, even the animals. And like, you know, it, plants are alive too.
yeah. Life
You
is
know,
everywhere you look.
yeah, it's like, uh, are we just mad at people who kill animals because the animals make sounds? Like, just because the trees they might make sounds we can't even hear, but they're still alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or plants, whatever. But uh, yeah, I think but we all like, and then we live our life, and then when we're buried, we become food. You know, for
But
bugs
people
and stuff.
But we all seem to get so carried away about just life in general. Forget about the blessings that are all around us each and every day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Each and every day.
Yeah,
That, like, whatever you want
yeah,
to do, whatever you want to chase in life, whatever you want to accomplish, it's right at your fingertips. You just got to be able to take that first step. You got to be able to
yeah,
do it, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's like everything's solution. Everything should You should always be searching for the solution. If you're solution based all the time, I just feel like you're not doing wrong because you're aiming for the right.
And then here's another cool thing that a lot of people miss this message too. Since you're in a car, I might as well give you this. The wide, the windshield in front of you is wide. Why? You have a wide
So you can see
windshield.
everything in front of you.
You can see everything in front of you. That's why the side mirrors are so small because they don't want you to focus on the past. They want you to focus on
Right.
what's in
Yeah.
front of you.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Yeah, man. And just be grateful for what you passed, because you survived it all. Like, it's, you know, when you're low, I feel like you just feel like you're constantly losing all the time. But it's because we lose sight of all the small wins we have. Like you said, you woke up. That's one win right there.
First win of the day.
Plus, yeah, then if you're counting everything you're grateful for, that's wins right there. Then if you got dressed on time, you did whatever your morning routine is on time, that's a win there. You get to work on time, there's another win. You start to do the tasks you need to do, there's another win. Now, you might have like a small setback at some point. If you want to categorize that as a loss, that's cool, but you're going to have a lot more wins throughout the day. But for some reason, we'll let that little setback weigh heavier than all the wins we had all day.
It's
You know what I mean?
that's because how the world trains us. Because we were brought
Right.
into a negative world. But once you start to focus on the positive things in life, and you start seeing all the positive around you, all the positivity, so surround yourself. Listen to, that's another thing that you got to do, man. Especially the people that deal with depression. Listen to
Yeah.
uplifting stuff. Listen to positive stuff all the time. I know it's easier said than done, but really, even like right now, like somebody that is dealing with that, that's listening to this right now, battling with depression and dealing with suicidal thoughts or just feeling like they're not good enough. This is my challenge for you. For 30 days, I want you to go on to YouTube and listen to Les Brown for 1 hour. Listen to Steve Harvey. Listen to David Goggins. Listen to Eric Thomas for 1 hour each day for 30 days for a whole month. And I promise you, your life itself will change. And that goes for you too.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I listen to Jordan Peterson like every single day.
Great teacher.
I can't. Yeah. He's just like he's hold on a second.
He's getting phone calls.
I don't know what happened here. I can see you. There we go. Okay.
It's okay.
I
I
had to
needed
plug
a
in my
break.
charger.
I needed a water break.
I,
It all works out.
I feel like he is like the closest thing we have to Socrates walking the planet right now. But he's amazing, dude. He's right, I feel like, about everything.
I wouldn't say that's
Hey,
pretty.
I've like at least how okay, to me I feel like
You don't
I
realize
see the
it.
same
You don't
same
realize
way.
it yet, but you're actually better than him. What you have inside you, that greatness, you're gonna be much better than him when it comes to speaking and telling your story and preaching to the world and building people up. I mean, you're doing it already. You just got to get to that
Yeah,
point where you're more comfortable with it, man.
yeah. I don't know. I don't, I don't want to be better than anybody, man. I just want to help. That's all. I think I think that I don't think there I think there's just being and then there's trying to be. I like I don't know cuz the way I feel like anybody who feels like they're better than anybody proves that if you feel like you're above anybody, you prove you're below everybody. I think there's a way to be that we need to be, and we're all trying to get there. We just have different ways up. I don't
Preach
know.
it.
I don't believe in evil. I don't. I just like. I believe people do. Like. I believe like maybe things that are done could be considered evil, but like
Yeah.
everybody starts off as a really bright light, and
Yes. Preach it, man.
sometimes the like environment will dim it or break the bulb or something. But I
Yes.
don't know. Like I don't. You know, it's like to me, there's like no such thing as a good person, and there's just a person, and then there's somebody trying to be a person. It's
Let it
like
out, man. Let it out.
it's it sucks that you got to call it good. It sucks that it has to be pointed out as good because, like even like a good dad, there's just dad, and then there's other levels underneath that are either trying to be or aren't. But good dad is just a dad, and it's unfortunate that we have to call you a good dad. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just being, and then there's not, or trying to be. I guess I feel like good and bad and evil, and it just doesn't help. I don't know, and sometimes I feel like it's dismissive in a way. I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying to explain it right. It's like
No,
if you're a
I get
good
what you.
person, you're
Yeah.
just a person. You're a human. You're doing what a human's supposed to do. Like how we lost track of why is it so much work? I don't know. That's the big. I could go into dude. I could.
You got that hungry spirit inside you. I can see it.
You know,
You got the hungry spirit, man, that you want to put the positivity back into this world. Don't be
yeah,
afraid to show that
yeah.
off.
I
Speak it,
just
man.
think that I think that like the thing I've been thinking about a lot, especially the more I've been reading the Bible and stuff. Um, I think I read into a little bit of a lot of stuff here and there. I don't know how to explain it. I think that all of the spiritual beliefs are there. It's like a criminal case, man. You can't just take one story. You have to take a bunch of different sides. Like picture a whole bunch of people standing around different sides of a mountain and looking up. Depending on what side you're on, the way up is going to look different, but the point is going to be the same, which is the general point of most beliefs is the same. It's like be the best version of you for yourself and everybody that you're connected to for the good of life and the whole system as a whole. And so but and we're a network, so we got to help each other get up the mountain because the more of us that are at the top, which the top would be nobility, and being that person they describe that that you want to be, like that's a good thing that we're working together, trying to help our network get to the top. But like you got to have a relationship with the mountain too. Otherwise, if there's no mountain, there's no there's nothing to climb, and like what I'm getting at with that is
Come on,
there's a
brother.
lot
Preach.
of
Preach, brother.
there's a lot of talk of like pleasing the Father, and I get it. It's right to do. But it's like we neglected mom. And I think that's our biggest disconnect because like I think when we got our consciousness, I think somehow it made us feel like we were the biggest thing here, even if there's animals bigger than us, like we're the biggest, even with our ego and everything. We're the biggest living beings that exist. And I don't think that's true. I think we're just kind of cells to a really big, giant body.
Yeah.
And I think
And
the reason why we're having a hard time, like in the Avatar, how they're connected to the planet, like just like that. And at some point, maybe it was the flood because you know you I would picture like a community of everybody doing everything they're supposed to be doing exactly how they are. It's probably a giant community of good people, and then all of a sudden, this natural disaster just wipes everything away. That would scare the crap out of you, dude, and future generations. And that could probably, I don't know, that could be, like I said, I don't. I could go deep. I don't know. Like my
come
thought.
on now.
I don't know.
Come on now.
Look, my main point is like, look, even in the Bible, like God created Adam,
Yep.
but he didn't do it without part of the earth. So that's mom. When you're born inside your mom, like the dad gives the seed, but the mom, like every part of your skin, your organs, all the cells, everything comes from the nutrients from your mom.
Yeah.
Everything that came from Adam's body, besides the life that God gave him, that came from his mom was the earth. Jesus, when he was born, it's not like God came straight from the clouds. Mary had to carry him. So if we're going to talk, I just believe there's things that show that mother is equal to the father. And that's where our disconnect is. Like we forgot where we came from. Because if you fly up really high, you can't see any humans walking on the planet. Like it's like cells. Like we're literally walking on something living's skin, and if it's not alive, then how come living stuff grows out of it all the time, everywhere, every single thing? Like, okay, so we grow inside mom. Everything that makes us, everything like our food and everything comes from mom until we're born. every single thing we use on this planet came from the planet.
Yeah.
Everything we eat, everything we use. It's not like we went to space and plucked out metal and started making cars. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
let's
I
get
think.
let's get a little deeper. When you're talking about the Bible, who spoke it into existence?
What do you mean?
Who made the earth? Who created all this around you?
Well, I don't.
Genesis.
Right. Yeah. I just don't think it's a who. I think it's a what, and the what is the system.
It's God. God is
Right.
all because everybody believes that God is this dude up in the clouds, but it's not true at all. He's all around
Oh
it.
man.
Everywhere you look, where you see life, that's where it's at.
Right.
That's where he's at. As we
Yeah.
speak, he's here right now, present. And that's what Jesus taught us is we're made in his like image.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
we have it
think about
inside
it.
of us. Think about it. We have it inside of us. And a lot of people miss this reading, this teaching from Jesus himself that whatever we speak from our mouths, we're planting seeds. We're putting it into the world, whether it's positivity or negativity. And that's how your world,
Right.
that's how it works. That's how your life works. Whatever you say, if you're saying positive stuff all the time and you're thinking about positive stuff, you're going to get positive stuff back to you. That's how it works. But if you decide you're going to say negative stuff and be negative towards everybody else and put negativity to the world, that's how your life's going to be. You have control of
Yeah.
your life. You can make the decision. What kind of life do you
Yeah.
want? What kind of life do you want? Do you want to have the positive?
Yeah.
Or do you want to have the negative? Now that you're on
Right.
that level, you're seeing it clearly that you're beginning to appreciate what's really around us, and that's life. Life's all around us,
Yeah.
and
That
we're all.
that's
Nobody's
yeah.
higher, nobody's lower than anybody. Everybody's equal. Everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah. Right. It's yeah. We're just part of a really awesome system,
Yeah,
and like the why you should, you know, like the why
that
you should do the right thing is because life, and that's why, because we're all part of the system, man. Like everything we do for the good is helping it and helping everything. The more you do, it's like the more life would flourish all the way around. You know.
and that's where when you like you're on the right path, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're on the right path. The spirit of gratitude, just be be thankful that you found it and you came at it at a younger age. Because a lot of people don't find it until they get to that age where they're too old, and
Yeah.
nobody begins to realize like what they're doing. But you can ask anybody that's older. They begin to appreciate life as they get older because they know they're coming to their end. But you're getting at a younger age and you're getting that taste. And now that seed that's been planted inside you is it's gonna blossom, and you're gonna be able to show your love to everybody else. And that's what Christ wanted more than ever. That's what he was teaching his disciples. And
Yeah.
that's why he
Yeah.
said
Because
you have to deny yourself first. Because what does ego stand for? Do you know?
mm-mm.
Edging God out. Edging God out. That's why he said to deny himself. Deny yourself first. Because then you can follow Christ and be more like Christ minded. Because that's what it takes. And then once you start getting on that path, life, man, is just gonna.
Yeah, I didn't actually start reading anything he ever said until a few months ago, and actually so glad I didn't, because I went and learned. I went
You wouldn't have
and
taken the
learned a
pain
lot
before you did.
on my own. Yeah, but like now when I read, I'm like, yeah, yep, yep, that's true. You know what I mean? Like the Sermon on the Mount so far is my favorite thing I've ever read, because if you're being honest with yourself when you read it, it is like the brightest light you will ever have shined on you. Because if you're really being honest when you read it, like uh it's just like it'll expose things that you keep in the darkness, which is an uncomfortable but really cool thing because it makes you it clarifies a lot of the things, like the reasons why we shouldn't do certain things, and you know, it made a lot more sense. Like especially like you know, like when he was talking about cheating, and it's like the idea was like it's more than just like sleeping with somebody. It's thinking about them, staring at them, fantasizing about them, and everything like that. Like you're already there. What's the physical
Yeah,
part gonna do? You know
and
what I
it
mean? And it's like,
pretty much when
and
you
like
so go ahead.
if
I'm
you feed
sorry.
into it, and like if you feed into it and you let it go, like first it becomes like a little bit of whatever, then there's contact, maybe numbers exchange, then there's flirting, and then there's hanging out, and then if you're in a relationship, boom, your relationship is over, and now you're stuck in this pit of depression, which is hell, really. So, and he's saying like, if your eye, if you keep staring at her, take your eyes out, stop doing it because you're gonna be in hell soon if you don't stop. You know what I mean? And that it's huge. It's the little things that lead to the big things. It's not, we don't jump to the big things. You know, it's the little things that
And
lead
really,
up to that.
really, what it goes all back to the mustard seed.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
take that mustard seed,
yeah,
whatever it is, either positive or the negative, and you plant that inside you. It's gonna grow either way. It's gonna grow either
yeah,
way. So
yeah,
you got to make that choice. What do you want in your world? The positive or the negative? That's your decision.
yeah. I just want, I just want, like, I just wish we were all on the same page when it came to, I think if our common goal was really to spend more time like in some way, like everything we did was more appreciation towards where we come from. uh I just feel like everything would work out better. I think the disconnection and the reason why we have so many different beliefs, besides the fact that we're on different regions, but I think it's because it's like we all forgot that like we can't be here without this planet. Like, and it's just a small part of the giant, the giant system that is, it's God, which is everything, right? And we're just a small part of an even smaller part of an even smaller part on, but we're on a big, like we should be worshiping,
All right,
we should be
my
worshiping
brother.
the,
Let me step in here real quick. You want to be the change in this world, right?
yeah,
You want change. You want everybody to pay you positive. You want everybody to be like-minded, loved. Then do it. Be that person. Be the difference that you want
yeah,
to
I'm
see.
trying,
That's what you got to
I'm
do.
trying, man.
And you're on the spirit of gratitude right now. I know I keep going back to it and sound like a broken record,
Yeah, no,
but
it's cool.
the thing is, it's like I said, it starts with the day. And then throughout the day, like you said, you're appreciative and thankful for everything. And then begin to show that
Yeah,
love towards the people that were created the same, just like you. Begin to,
yeah,
just tell them little things. Okay, they're gonna look weird at you at first because they're not used to it because it's a foreign thing. But continue to do that every day. Like people that you work with, just build them up. Tell them how good they do at their jobs. Tell them like, if they got a nice haircut or they're wearing nice clothes or something, compliment them on it. But do that every day,
yeah,
man. And that's where it
yeah.
starts. That's where it starts.
That's what I do, man. I just man, I love everybody. I genuinely love everybody. And all I say and do is I love you, when no matter what I'm doing. My whole goal is, for life,
What
really. And I'm just happy to be a part of it.
my question though is, you're still holding on to something.